The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 126. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Visit our blog at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan. And today I have a special lady who's all the way from Los Angeles, California. She is a transformational life coach, an inspirational speaker, and she is also the founder of Fueled by Love, which she will elaborate a little bit more. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Stephanie Kwong. Stephanie, how are you doing today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Hi, thank you so much, Sheena, for reaching out to me and for having me on your podcast. I love the message that you're sending out to people and just feel honored and grateful to be here with you today. So thank you so much. So I am, as you mentioned, I'm a transformational life coach, and I also have a brand called Fueled by Love, and it's really showing people how to wake up to the loving energy that's within themselves and in the world to tap into, to create whatever it is that they want in life. Because I know that there's really just two emotions that we, and energies that we deal with, which is either love or fear. And most people function from a place of fear, reacting to their environment versus deeply connecting to that loving energy and knowing that, they can create anything from there. Because the emotions of love are whether it's confidence or kindness, understanding, patience, compassion. The world is at your fingertips to generate whatever it is that you want when you're coming from that place. So it's important for me to get people to connect to that loving energy. And that's the whole Fueled by Love, like that love is your fuel source instead of fear. And also part of my mission is just to wake people up to seeing their worth and knowing that that they matter, that they're enough, and that they can take back their personal power when they transform their perceptions and their self-imposed limitations that they've created, so that they can live authentically and also, of course, create their greatest intentions in all areas of their life. So that's what I do.
Awesome. And I love it. I love, the mission that you have to wake people up, because there's so many people out there who's just like, this might be a little bit wrong to say or bad, or it doesn't matter, but it's just like that show, The Walking Dead, just like zombies, right? Just going through life like, there's nothing out there for them. And, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to create this podcast, to help women also just realize, that power they have is really inside them. And it's just, when they hear all these stories and all these women who've been through, dark times and be able to come out of it, it just shows them what's possible in their own life. So, I really love your mission as well. It's such a great mission to have. I mean, I think we need more people that like that, just going out there and doing greater service for the world. So,
yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. And
of course.
What's your cultural background?
So I'm Chinese, 100%. Both of my parents are from China, and they emigrated here when they were teens. So that's my background. And kind of going off of what you said before of how we've been trained, our culture, when we're born into this world and when we are encultured into society, we're trained to be in fear. We're trained to look at ourselves and think that we're not enough, which then has us lose our confidence in ourselves. No one ever actually teaches you how to be loving and how to connect to the worthiness and the enoughness that we actually are. And when people do realize that, like you were mentioning, you hit a tough spot and you're able to pull yourself out, it's because these women realize that they have all the inner resources they need to, be strong or to pull themselves out of whatever circumstance that they're in.
Yeah, totally. And, especially in Asian countries, like Asian women, we're always taught to just follow the crowd, don't make any noise. And especially in China, I've been reading a lot about, women in China are always pressured to just get married and not do anything. And, they have these terms for some women who are a little bit older and are single, they call them leftovers, I think, which really is not, it's a very derogatory term to call a woman that. And, they still face that, right? When I was reading it, it just breaks my heart thinking why would a country want to, make women feel like, they can't do anything else other than get married and just follow the crowd. So, that was another reason why I created this. I just want women to realize there's a better way. There's another way for you to get everything that you want, whether it's the business that you want, the income, the love, the man or, anything, right? It's always possible. So, it's just crazy that, it's like 2016 and we still live in a world like that. So
Yeah.
anyways, so Stephanie, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
Ooh, I have a couple, but one that I really love and I go back to quite often is the quote is, "A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not on the branch, but on its wings. Always believe in yourself." And I don't know who said that quote. I've searched and searched, but I just love it because of the message that it has, to trust yourself and know that you can do anything you want in life and to believe in who you are. And I just love the metaphor of how they created the quote too. It just really lands in my heart.
That's the first time I've heard it, and I love it. I love the metaphor in it. I feel like it's like an ancient Chinese proverb, but I mean,
it's our people. It's our people.
Yeah, it just sounds like good. Like you said, we don't know where it came from, but I mean, it's a great metaphor. It has a really great meaning to it. So, thanks for sharing that. And in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
Well, to me, self-confidence is really just a matter of making powerful choice to trust in yourself, to take action even in the face of fear, and to believe in your own abilities. And this all starts with self-love. It's something that I teach a lot, and it's the core foundation of where I bring a lot of my clients. First is being loving with who they are and to know what that actually means and how to create that. Because self-love has you see the truth, which is that, again, we're enough, that we are worthy, and that we matter. And when we really rest into that wisdom, that truth, there's only confidence to be had. We're enough to do whatever we want. We are worthy of having the things that we want, and that we matter enough that we can raise our hand and stand up and use our voice to share our gifts with the world. So that's my definition of self-confidence.
I love your definition, and I love that you said that we have a powerful choice because, so many people out there, they're always like, I don't have a choice. This is the only way. And when they realize, you can make, when you have what it takes to make a powerful choice, that's when the game changes. That's when the magic happens. So, great definition. I love it. And what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
Ooh. My life before self-confidence. Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, I was in a lot of analysis paralysis of myself, constantly analyzing, did I do this right? Is this okay? Just always in my head, a lot of self-doubt as well, which sometimes could leave me, feeling stuck, or I wouldn't take the risks that I knew I could. I would compare myself to a lot of other people and then feel bad about the comparison, of course, because at that time before self-confidence, I placed my worth outside of myself. I didn't see again that, who I was enough. And I was always looking for external validation to prove that I was good enough. And then when I was good enough, then I would be confident to do the things that I wanted to do. So that was really challenging because I, again, wouldn't take certain risks, or I was so afraid of failing that I wouldn't take action. And I know that I sabotaged a lot of opportunities by turning them down because I just didn't believe I was good enough to walk through the doors that, someone had just opened up for me.
It's amazing. I think most women deal with this, right? We just feel like we're not good enough. We second guess everything. I mean, I was guilty of that, right? And, it's just, we're so afraid of failure because society, pretty much ingrains in our heads that, failure is a bad thing. And it starts from school, right? It's like, you got an F, you're a failure, right?
Oh, yeah.
I had this.
We're constantly being compared in school. I mean, the grading scale, and then they show who was at the top and who wasn't. And even with our family, when you're growing up, every turn and every move you make, you're being told, don't do that. Be like this. If you do this, then I will love you, And so at every turn, we're constantly doubting ourselves or thinking that I'm not doing it the right way because I keep getting corrected. Or if I do this, I get shamed and judged and punished by my parents or my peers. And if I do this, then I get validated. And so we start to disengage from parts of ourselves, the part that we felt aren't good enough because we get judged or shamed for them. And we only expose the ones that are good, which then are our social masks, right? The only parts that we think, oh, people will like me if I show this. And that really starts to break down our confidence because we think that can only be a certain way, or we can only show these things. Otherwise, I'm not going to be loved and I'm going to be rejected.
I totally agree with you on that. And, it's just such a shame, like, it still happens till this day. And, I just hope that we can, if we can just help one person, that's all I can ask for, because if we can help one person, we can help another one and another one. And it's just like a ripple effect. So, so, for you, Stephanie, what was like your aha moment when you realized, you were good enough to, do the things that you want? You didn't have to worry about what other people think. You didn't have to second guess yourself anymore. What was that one like point in your life when you just realized that?
It was actually a pretty big turning point moment. I was at some workshop and I was in front, or the facilitator said, "Hey, do you want to do an exercise with me?" And I was like, "Sure." So he asked me to come up to the front of the room. And when I was walking up there, they were bringing this massive mirror up to the front. And he said, "I want you to look in this mirror. And I want you to say out loud everything that you think in your mind when you're looking in a mirror." And I freaked out and I started crying, but then I let it rip. I mean, I was saying all the cruel things that normally would run in my mind, which of course, I realized later on, like, that's why those thoughts, those negative, mean thoughts and judgments are what broke down my confidence. And at the second point of the exercise, he said, "I want you to close your eyes and imagine someone that you really love is in front of you, in quicksand, sinking. And the only way to save them is to send them love. So go ahead, send them love." And so I was like filling up with the loving energy and seeing them and like just sending that over. And when he asked me or told me to open up my eyes, because I was just generating so much of that loving energy within, and I looked at myself in the mirror, I literally was a different person. It was crazy. Like, I saw myself as beautiful for the first time. I was so calm. The noise, chatter in my head was stopped. And I just knew, I was like, the only way I'm going to believe in myself or see myself in the ways that I want to is if I choose to, is if I actually tap into being loving with myself, which then can extend out to the rest of the world. But it had to start within. And I knew in that moment, I was like, if I channel my life from this energy, I could be or do anything, and that my worth was completely within myself and not outside of me.
I love it, and it's great. It's funny how like a simple exercise like looking in the mirror can like just change your life in an instant, right? Mm-hmm. Just literally like change the way you see things, change the way you see yourself, in a positive way, of course. And that's pretty cool how you said like if you had a loved one who was like in a quicksand and you have to fill it with love, like that's a great exercise, right? Because nobody teaches us these things, right?
No. They should.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. So, after that realization, what's your life like now?
My life rocks. Let me tell you. I mean, I love myself. It's still a journey, of course. I have my days where I get to really be conscious and dip back into being accepting or compassionate or appreciative, or forgiving of myself. But I love and I feel good about who I am. I feel happy and free. I trust in myself enough to take bigger risks. And if I mess up, I know that I have all the resources I need to be able to pick myself up and keep going. And again, this isn't, all areas of my life. And it just feels so freeing, and I'm just happier, lighter. And I'm actually actualizing all the visions and intentions that I've created for myself. I'm taking powerful steps forward. And, when you see it happening, it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. But knowing that it comes from me powerfully choosing to believe in myself, to trust in myself, and to love myself enough that I can do and be whatever, I want to be.
Awesome. And I love it. It's great that you're able to, love yourself and be able to, do the things that you want and living life on your own terms. So, I'm just really happy for you. And Stephanie, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in a similar situation as you and she's on her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
There's so many, Sheena. I can only say one. Gosh, I would just say, as you're on this journey to self-confidence, one, make the choice to just believe in yourself, because confidence really is a choice. And as you're building it, though, and feeling out what that means for you, to just be really gentle and compassionate with yourself along the way. And yeah, I mean, again, set your intention to love and believe in yourself and just keep your focus on that. Everything else will fall into place.
Love it. Thanks for sharing that. And I always believe, you got to love yourself first before anything else, right? Got to work on yourself. And that's, when you start to learn to love yourself, work on yourself and become more positive or have a positive view of yourself, that's when everything else will come into place. So thanks for sharing that. And Stephanie, if our listeners want to connect with you and get to know a little bit more about what you do and who you are, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, I actually send out weekly love-fueled inspiration off my website, which is stephaniekwong.com. I also actually created a 40-day self-love transformation online program that thousands of people have already gone through and have had dramatic results with it and shifts and changes. And you can find that at 40dayselflove.com, and that's the number 40. So yeah, those are probably the best links to connect with me. And again, I'm grateful to have been a part of this, Sheena. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, Stephanie. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Stephanie, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Stephanie's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I really just want to thank Stephanie for, taking the time to share her story with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Not a problem. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another amazing episode of another new woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us on the Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit thetaoofselfconfidence.com for links to everything we chatted about today, as well as killer resources, gifts, and so much more. Start your inner journey to self-confidence today.